Welcome back everyone, my name's LastKnownMeal, and today I want to talk about Battlefield as a franchise. Well, to be more exact, about the future of Battlefield as a franchise, because I've been playing Battlefield 1 so much. From the moment the beta came out, I've been playing that game and it's so good. And for a lot of times I wanted to discuss this franchise because this franchise had a lot of ups and downs. Some of their games were amazing, some of their games were not that amazing, but today I'm going to take a step back, think about all the previous Battlefield games, talk a bit about them, and also talk about the future of this franchise, where it could go, which is the next Battlefield game. Now, the next Battlefield game is probably coming out in 2018 because 2017 is reserved for Battlefront 2, and because Battlefront 2 is such a big game, they don't want to release Battlefield to suffocate this game. And honestly, in my opinion, that's a very good move and a very obvious move from EA. Now, there's a lot of ways Battlefield, like the next Battlefield game, could look like. It could be set during World War II, it could be set in the future, it could be set during Vietnam. There's like a bunch of eras it can be set in. Now, the one I would love to see next Battlefield game is probably World War II. I know that this year we have Call of Duty World War II, but it does not mean that next year we can't get another Battlefield game set during World War II. But if they do decide to set this game then I don't want to see the same thing like Call of Duty, for example, because Call of Duty is going from Normandy and then everything that happened after that, like the Battle of the Bulge, etc, etc. So if they did create like a new Battlefield game during World War II, then why not set it in Africa? Imagine Africa in a Battlefield game during World War II, that would be amazing. I would love to play a good Africa campaign. It could be set in Russia, where, for example, because they implemented war stories in Battlefield 1, why not see a war story from the other side, the Nazi side? Like one of those war stories could be about a soldier that does not want to fight for Nazi Germany, but he is pushed there because that's a fact. A lot of soldiers, like Wehrmacht soldiers, is this how you pronounce this? Wehrmacht? Yeah, Wehrmacht. Probably. A lot of those soldiers were pushed in World War II, and like a lot of them did not want to fight because, again, those were people. So I would love to see like a war story from this other side, this other perspective. But again, it could be set also in Vietnam, it could be set in the future, maybe make another Bad Company, who knows? But still, it's up to them and we need to wait and see. Now, when it comes to the past of Battlefield as a franchise, like, they made a lot of choices that for some gamers were not good, but they also made choices that proved to be amazing, like to set a video game during World War I. And when I heard about that Battlefield is going to be set during World War I, that was awesome in my opinion, even though the multiplayer has some issues. Like, for example, a lot of gamers are using automatic weapons, which imagine a game mode where every single gamer, every single player on the map has to use a bolt action rifle. That would be amazing. Like one hit, then you have to reload, and one more hit, then you have to reload. But having an automatic weapon, it kind of ruins the immersion of a game a bit. So maybe the use of those weapons could be more authentic to the era. But then before that we had Hardline, which was very questionable in my opinion. The whole idea of cops and robbers was good in my opinion, was something different for the Battlefield as a franchise. They took a risk, but in the end it was kind of a dull thing. Like driving cars and everything was cool. The combat was fast paced. It was really something different from, you know, what they did in the past. And, you know, again, it turned really boring real fast because you just end up driving around in circles. And it wasn't that challenging, it wasn't that fun. And I think the multiplayer, like the idea of a multiplayer game mode is to be fun, to be exciting, to be immersive. And that's what they did for Battlefield 1. Before that we had Battlefield 4, which had its problems when it came out, but in like the next couple of months it was fixed with updates and patches and new maps. Before that we had Battlefield 3, which was so amazing in my opinion. Then we had Bad Company 2. The single player of it was great, and also the multiplayer segment of Bad Company 2, for a lot of players it was one of the best multiplayer experiences. Sadly, I did not have enough time to play Bad Company 2. It's a sad thing because that game was amazing. Like the ways you can kill your enemies was so fun and so exciting, and a lot of gamers that do enjoy Battlefield games do want to see a return of Bad Company, so maybe that could happen. Maybe they don't want to take the road of World War II, maybe they want to go and create something different. Who knows, we just need to wait and see. So in the past this franchise had a lot of ups and downs. Some of their choices were mistakes, some were not, but the state of this franchise right now and how much it accomplished, and they had a lot of help from Call of Duty, because Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, when it was announced, that trailer had a lot of dislikes. The first impression of it was bad, and a lot of people actually switched to Battlefield to play it because, let's face it, it was better. I'm not sucking up to any studio out there. I was a huge Call of Duty player in the past. Like the only game I played when I was a kid were Call of Duty 2 and Call of Duty 4. And now with the return of Call of Duty that is set in World War II, they're definitely going to turn a new page. So what happens with Battlefield then? Are they going to go in World War II also? If they do, I don't want to see the same thing. I don't want to see another Normandy. Then I know that a lot of people want to see it because of the graphics and everything and the sound design, which I think would be great. But I also believe Call of Duty, when it comes to Normandy, is going to do one hell of a job. We just need to wait and see, because that is the beginning of their campaign, if I am not wrong. So it's definitely going to be done right. So if Battlefield does go in World War II, I want to see something different. I want to see another campaign. Africa, Russia, a lot of things, war stories. Give me another perspective. And that's also with war stories. The war stories in Battlefield 1, like story-wise, were so good. Like, I was able to bond with the characters even for that short amount of time that I was able to play with them and to interact with other characters in that war story. It was good, but the AI was the problem. The AI ruined it for me so much. For example, the desert campaign. You can go and sneak around, but the like how enemies see you and how they not see you and how like they can hear you from the other side of the map ruined it for me. And as much as like the whole level was open, you can do whatever you want, still it was boring. Story wise, it was good. It had some plot holes. You didn't have enough time to bond that much with every character, even though some of them were great. Some of those campaigns, I'm not going to spoil anything, maybe some of you did not play it, but the endings of some of them were good, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. Maybe you agree with me on this one, maybe you disagree with me on this one, who knows, but the one thing we would all agree about is the AI. So it didn't provide that spectacle that Call of Duty does in their single player games. And I know I'm comparing these two games a lot, but you know, like the older Call of Duties had an amazing single player campaigns. I love them. And, you know, still Battlefield is more of a multiplayer game, but if you are going to include a single player mode, either do it right or don't do it at all. I swear to God, people can always complain. If you do a campaign, they're like, why is there a campaign like this? If you don't do a campaign, like for example with Battlefront 1, where is the campaign? And yeah, so if you want to do a campaign, either do it right or don't do it at all. Just focus on the multiplayer, but a lot of people do want to see a single player campaign, including me. So these war stories, they could be also implemented in the future. I mean, it doesn't matter where you set your new Battlefield. Implementing those war stories could be great. We just need to wait and see. So yeah, that is my honest opinion about Battlefield and the future of Battlefield. They have a very difficult task in front of them. They have to do a lot to justify Battlefield 1. Now also Battlefield 1 had some problems because for a lot of time there weren't a lot of maps, and players were like, I don't want to play the same map all over again, so I'm just going to wait for the DLC. So I believe during those couple of months Battlefield lost a lot of players because of that. But now they're implementing more DLCs, so yeah, I'm guessing they're going to be good. Like the next DLC is coming out in September, and from what I've seen so far, it is looking quite good. So that is all I have for this video. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Tell me what you think about this, and where you think next Battlefield game could be set. And tell me down below, and I'll be looking at your comments. This is LastKnownMeal signing out, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Also, visit me up on Twitter at LastKnownMeal. Bye bye.